We'll hit this. Yay. We've got everybody in here. This is pretty exciting.
There we go.
Everybody's slowly joining here. Wonderful. And I see. Okay. Hey, guys.
Hi.
I just got
hey,
home.
well, did you explain that you have things to do with me?
I
I mean, your job is really, have you thought about how your job inconveniences my life?
is
Because
affecting you.
we're going to have to talk about this.
Hold on to that thought.
Yeah. And just so you know, Ward will really appreciate it if you are your natural selves and ask questions.
There you
He
go.
likes
Yeah.
us that way.
Yeah. And even just try to make
Okay.
up a question that I can't answer. That'd be fun too.
All right. Yeah, I'll be right
I
back.
already
He's
asked
in
him the
charge
winning
till I get
lottery
back.
numbers. It's, you know.
Yeah, I haven't got those. I haven't got those.
Okay.
So where are you guys calling in from?
We're in Denver, Colorado.
Oh gosh, I'm green with envy. Is the weather nice, or are you having that heat wave still?
It's raining.
Oh.
We had a heat wave and we're past it apparently.
Okay, you're into the winter already.
We don't get much of a summer.
Yeah, right.
But next week they will be in Barcelona.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. Envious there. And where's that one going through to?
Yeah.
Where's it end? Oh, is it going back to Barcelona? Sorry, is it a circle?
Barcelona.
No, we're doing a cruise, Barcelona, Marseille, Cannes, Ibiza, Mallorca.
Oh my gosh.
All the fun. All the fun things.
Yeah, totally. And hopefully you're at the end of summer. Hopefully it's not too crowded. Hopefully all the kids are starting to go back to school, but we'll see.
We'll see. So we do have so a bunch of the folks on are actually going to do that. So thank you everybody for joining us. I really, really, really appreciate you all being here today. As many of you know, our side of the hemisphere here, we are getting hammered at the moment. And there's power outages and everything else going on, but you know, a few of us were able to make it here. As usual, we had over 40 some register for tonight, and as everybody knows, I will send out the video tomorrow because I remembered to hit record for the first time ever.
No swearing.
I'm
right
just putting
now.
that out there. The record button may have actually been hit. So that actually happened. So Ward, we thank you very much for taking the time to come and talk to us tonight. I really am excited to introduce our clients to Windstar. You know, our clients love adult cruises in particular, and you just got 2 awards by USA Today in the adult only area. And I thought, my gosh, this is perfect. And we like the smaller ships, and this will give everybody a lot of different options that they do not already have. And I'm really excited to kind of expand our product line with you.
No worries. Well, thank you. Yeah, and I just wanted to say thank you for giving your time up tonight to share our brand, our experience with you. I think the first thing you probably notice about my accent is I do have a southern accent. I live in Texas, believe it or not.
Which is weird because he's from New York.
But it's south of the equator, I like to say. And the irony is I'm married to a Cajun. And we have kids. So can you imagine what they speak? It's actually illegible. But anyway, that's just my foray into saying if I'm going too fast, or because 20 years, you think I would have picked up American, and I haven't. So I'm still speaking a version of English that I'm not sure what it is. But anyway, it is my pleasure to have you tonight. And what I'm going to just do is paint an overview, about our philosophy, who we are, life on board, and hopefully that'll stimulate a lot of questions that I can cover for you. So the first thing I wanted to start with was, you can see the ships behind me. We're a small company. We have 3 sailing vessels on this side and 3 luxury motor yachts. Now, predominantly, I'm going to focus on the luxury motor yachts because that's what Sean and I are working on here. But I did want to just let you know that our history is as a traditional sailing company there. So that's where we started from. So is that a question? Me? I'm back here. Okay.
Okay, there you go.
No worries. So I'm going to really focus on this luxury experience. And what I'm going to do is just bring up some lovely little slides just to show you some pictures about our lovely ships. I'm hitting this button here. Sean, because I can't see you anymore, you're seeing my ships on the screen, right?
Yes.
Yep, beautiful. So I just want to dive into the fleet very briefly. We do own the largest sailing vessel in the world, the gorgeous Windsurf. She's iconic, and it holds our maximum number of passengers, which is 350. Then we do have two of the babies, I call them, the Windstar and the Windspirit, and they only hold 150. So that's in the sailing category. The vessels that we're focusing on tonight are our luxury motor yachts or luxury power vessels. We call them the Star class. We actually refurbed these vessels in 2020. So they really are quite brand new in terms of, being refurbed and coming onto the water just at 4 years old. And we hold 300 guests. You'll notice the crew number. We're very intensive. So for every 3 guests, we have 2 crew on board. This is one of my favorite pictures in Nice. This was actually in the wintertime in February. But I always go up to the bridge and meet the captain. And this particular day, I watched him reverse park, if you like, our gorgeous vessel here right into the centre of Nice. And those that have been will recognise just around the corner of the luxury motor yachts of the rich and famous. And we literally have our own floating hotel. We come in at 6 a.m. on a Tuesday. We don't leave till Thursday at 10 p.m. So, you're right in the heart of the action here. This is one of my favorite slides, and I'm going to tell you why. When I started with the company, you get to go on a survey, obviously, and I went and met the captain. I met this captain called Peter Davidson, and he was up in the bridge. And I said to him, "Hey, look, I'm one of the new guys. I'm one of the sales reps for the USA." And I said, "What does Windstar mean to you?" And he said, "Ward, this is the only slide that tells how I feel about this company." I said, "Oh, tell me more." And he went on to say, "Well, what you'll notice here is I've reverse parked the ship into this gorgeous harbour. We've got a fantastic glacier. And the only thing you see between me and the glacier are 8 or 9 kayaks. That's our clients who have come off our water sports platform that's at the back of the boat, and they've gone out there." Now, the kicker to this story and why it hit me was Peter Davidson, the captain, said on the day he actually went down to our cafe area, was having a coffee just to relax. But he noticed 2 ladies over in the corner, and they were in a hug and they were crying quite uncontrollably. So he put his coffee down. He ran over to them. He said, "Ladies, is everything okay? Do I need to get the ship's doctor?" And they said, "Yes, Captain, everything's fine. We're just crying in absolute jubilation. We just never thought we'd have a day like this in our lives, but, we were listening and watching you and your crew get us into this little cove, and it's really been a great memory." So from that point, I knew, the philosophy of this company was about delivering to our customers. I want to stress that, we are a luxury adult line, but we have this lovely saying where we whisper luxury, we don't shout it. We like to say we're pampering, but without pretense. And, these other 2 lines are casual elegance, low key luxury. And what that really means to me is you don't have to bring your fancy jacket or your fancy dress for dinner. You can if you want. We're happy for you to dress up, but you don't have to. We really want you to feel like you're casual and come as you are. You'll notice as we get to the itineraries, we won't go over them all tonight, but the one Sean selected for you, part of our philosophy is freedom from the crowds. We want to have unregimented days. And what that means that if we're experiencing port congestion or bad weather, we want to be able to maintain satisfaction of the cruise on the fly. And being small and nimble allows us to do that. The one thing that you will learn about our crew is they'll know your name on day one. They'll know what you like to drink, what you like to eat. They'll remember the drink that you had at the bar the night before that you forgot about. So we believe a luxury component is anticipating needs. But at the same time, our staff know when to pull back. They want you to enjoy your relaxation, and we're very cognizant of when that time is for you. Here's some other personal pictures I love sharing. You'll see me on the left there and my wife, Bridget, and Hussein. He is a room attendant on the Star Legend, and he's from Indonesia. I can't do his accent, but they're cheeky and fun. Our staff is how I describe them. He would come in on day 2, it actually was. I remember this distinctly. He stood in the room. He looked around. He said, "Ward, I think you are the most untidy man I've ever met." And he continued to show me how to properly, clean a sink and a basin. The next day taught me how to tuck a bed properly. He would make me fold my shirts and hang them up again. And Bridget was loving this lesson as we're going through. And on the right are 2 wonderful gentlemen. One is the hotel general manager, so he's managing your hospitality piece while you're aboard, and the purser. He's the money man. He's a good one to know. But my point is, I would see these guys every day. And I used to find on bigger ships, you don't see these people every day, but they are always around just to make sure that everything's going fine. Now, there's a lot of inclusions in the fare, which, Sean can talk to you about at other times. And this is a confusing slide. I won't go over it all, but, yes, we do have a gym on board. We do have a band. All the food is included in all our restaurants. We have beautiful robes in our walk-in robes, distilled water if you need it, sparkling water. All that's complimentary and all available. Some of the things that I like to mention people forget about, we have a nightly port talk, which is where we have a destination manager who can just give you free advice about how to enjoy that day the next day. And often I find on a ship of 300 people, sometimes only 20 people would go to this thing, and you get the most amazing information to maximize that next day. So I encourage that. We have cooking demonstrations. As I said, we have a band, and we have a unique entertainment philosophy. Again, being adults, we do not have a kids club. We do not have a raceway or a zip line or anything like that. We don't have a Broadway show. We use local and immersive entertainment. But here's the greatest night for me is the crew talent show. Now, you can see my little friend there. He's the shortest guy, Hussein. He and 3 other colleagues do a synchronized swimming demonstration on a stage without water that I'm still laughing about today. This gentleman in the middle is actually the president of our company who'd never seen it before, and he was having a hoot of a time as well. Anyway,
Ward, I have to stop you there because I'm going to say right now, I was an attorney before I became a travel agent, and I just want to make sure you know I am going to be suing you after next week when I take this group on the French day on this cruise out in Barcelona, simply because now I know that that's how this one's going to end up hurting himself, because he's going to be up there with Callie and Roche, and I'm just letting you know I'm going to hear their synchronized swimming took place, and this is all your fault.
Okay, mate, I will take it. I'll take the hit. I'm sorry for bringing that forward. Oh, I love it. Sorry, now I've lost my train of thought, Sean. You really took me in another direction. That's all right. No worries. More of the inclusions that we talk about, and I want to stress that our shore excursions are extra, and Sean will provide you with a full list of those once you make a decision on a cruise. And the reason for that is they are third-party operators, and our clients are, discerning and have different interests. So that's a separate thing. But what I did want to mention is that on some of our itineraries, we try and do it what I call a surprise and delight, or a Windstar discovery event. And this is one of our key ones. I don't know if anyone's been here, but in Ephesus, Turkey, this is the Celsius Library ruins. And what I want to stress is the people you see in that picture, they're all Windstar. We rent this place out just for us. If you look very carefully in the middle, there's a string quartet. And what happens is we serve a 5-star silver service dinner as the sun goes down, just for our Windstar clients. There's 2 others I want to mention quickly. One is in Iceland. This is called the Blue Chapel. And we arrive into this gorgeous little town. We literally walk off the boat in here. We meet some locals, some comedians, some musicians, some poets. I don't know if anyone's been to Iceland, but they're quite a quirky culture with some weird stories. And this is a great introduction. And then we go next door to a little co-op where they're serving some local beer and wine. And now our marquee Windstar Discovery event is in Tahiti. We have been in Tahiti for 40 years. We arrived there 40 years ago, and we've never left, basically. So we have the privilege of owning our own private island, or motu, as they call it there. So we literally drop our clients off on this deserted beach for the day. You do have your lunch and everything there, and you have all your water sports. And then in the evening, we have a fire dancing demonstration and a luau, cooking the dinner in the sand. And we try to teach our clients how to do the traditional Tahitian fire dancing with restrictions. We don't want to burn anyone as we go. But these are great little things that we put on the program. Now, of course, we are known as an active adventurous because of the water sports activity. So we have a gorgeous infinity pool. We have 2 jacuzzis, one at the bow of the boat, one at the aft of the boat. But here's what we're known for, is this gorgeous water sports platform off the back of the boat. You saw my picture earlier up in Alaska, so we can get kayaking straight out the back. But in the warmer destinations, just imagine you're in the Mediterranean or the Caribbean or the Tahitian waters. You can just jump off the back into these gorgeous waters, stand up paddleboarding, kayaking, or like we like to say in Australia, just lollygagging around on a lily pad. Gorgeous way just to let an afternoon disappear. Now, again, one of the things people forget about is this open bridge policy means that we're open 20 out of the 24 hours a day. And this is not a paid tour. You can just go up and meet the captain and the crew. And, you know, a lot of our clients have a fascination with the engineering facets of our vessels, or they might be interested in the navigation of the waters that we're going through. So we encourage people to go up there. When it comes to food, we have the privilege of being the signature cruise line for the James Beard Foundation. And those that know that is a group of chefs and restaurateurs who are passionate about farm to table freshness. So we bring this alive on our cruises. 5 times a year, we will bring a James Beard chef on board. Doesn't mean the rest of the year is not good. They're all trained the same way, but they like to come on board. But here's the kicker. You can literally go shopping with the chef. So if you're a real foodie and you want to go and see how we buy on tour or on sale, you can go out with the chef. And again, this is not a paid tour. You're on a working day with the chef, and you'll go out and he'll, you know, help. You can help him choose what's going to be for dinner that night. Now, I did mention the dinner. With understated elegance is the like, or come as you are is the preference that I have.
Aboard
Now,
Windstar's
can you
3-star
hear
plus
that,
class ships,
Sean?
Yeah.
you'll find 4 unique dining venues. The Star Grill, the veranda that turns into the candles at night, Quadro 44, and the Amphora. To start your day, the veranda has a beautiful breakfast buffet, a live omelet station, and a la carte dishes such as egg benedict and pancake to order off the menu. Head out onto the terrace and enjoy the endless view while you sip your coffee. For lunch at the Star Grill by Steven Reichland, you can enjoy house-smoked and grilled meats, vegetable and seafood that changes daily. So choose a thick slice of turkey or roast chicken from the rotisserie, grab a seat at a table on the deck, and enjoy the venue. Need a snack later? The Yacht Club is open and is the ship's coffee shop, also serving muffins and pastries in the morning and sandwiches and sweets in the afternoon. For dinner, you may choose to try the Quadro 44 by Anthony Sasso, which serves Spanish cuisine with a modern twist. Take a seat and watch the action in the open galley. Share small plates such as jamón ibérico and pulpo gallego before your entree. And don't skip the churros. Amphora is the elegant main dining room on board for dinner. You'll find international cuisine along with dishes by James Beard Foundation chefs. The chef will shop at the local markets along the way to infuse the flavor of destinations into the ship's menu. The veranda, which serves breakfast and lunch daily, turns into a classic steak and seafood house in the evenings. Dine under the stars at a table for 2, choose your preferred cut of meat and sides, or opt for fresh fish bought locally. As the official cruise line of James Beard Foundation, dining on board the Windstar is an elevated experience full of local flavor.
Now, what I wanted just to mention as I scroll through there is, again, there's no upcharges for any of our restaurants, but we do require a reservation for Quadro 44 here because it only has 30 seats, and we want to make sure everyone gets a go. But those reservations can't be made until you get on board. Similarly with, you saw Milton there mention Candles, which is our romantic steak and seafood. Again, that does need reservations, but made on board. I also want to stress that a part of the James Beard Foundation has a National Health Association affiliation, which means if you are gluten-free, dairy-free, have any allergies and stuff, bring those to us, preferably prior to cruising. But even on board, they do a great job at catering to those sort of needs. And something new for us now is some in-room dining as well. So if you never want to leave your room for the whole duration, then you can just stay there. Now, I did want to jump into some room options now. Our smallest room on board is very large, 277 square feet. That's larger than most hotel rooms. We have portholes, but we only have 6 of these rooms down on the lower deck. They have beautiful big bathrooms and walk-in robes, double sinks there, so you can, if you've got 2 people, get ready together. But this is where most people will start. It's the same size room, but you can see it's got a gorgeous panoramic window. Now, I do want to stress that this is not a fresh air window, okay? It's a big window, but it's not a fresh air. But you have this gorgeous sitting area. You can close that curtain to partition off your bedroom, and then you have your bathroom and the walk-in robe. Now, a conversation you want to have with Sean and Scott is, do you want to sit at the window or do you want to sleep at the window? Because we have the two different layouts in those ocean view rooms. Now, these are our balcony rooms. So those that have done river cruises before are familiar with this style of balcony. It's Juliet or French is the other term, but they don't have tables and chairs. They are a stand-up balcony, but this is obviously a fresh air room. And again, you can have the bed at the window or have the chair at the window, the couch. That couch in some rooms is a fold-out too, so you can have triples. Now, if you were to say to Sean and Scott, no, I want to have a full balcony, we do have them, but we have a limited inventory of them. But our Broadmoor suite, our Sea Island suite, and our premium suite, or the grand owners, or the grand poobah, as I like to call it, this is the ones that do have those full balconies, which you can see on the left of the screen. Full living area, full dining area, full bed, separate bath, etc., etc. But we only have 9 of these cabins on each of those luxury star class. As of 2020, we did take our casinos out. So just again, as an adult line, we did a lot of surveying on this, and turned out there was 14 people that were disappointed, but we did replace the casinos with a wellness centre as part of our offering. Now, of course, we do have to talk about alcohol on vacation, whether you want to drink and all in package. Sean will include this in your deal. I just wanted to break it down for you so you know what the value of this is. It's $89 per day. There's a hotel service fee, which I have to mention. It's $16 per guest per day, which does not leave the boat. It goes to the engineers, the cleaners, the cooks, the people you never see. So it's a mandatory fee if you didn't take it. But that is included in the $89. Also is the Wi-Fi at $35 a day. That is included in the $89 if you take the package. And it includes unlimited beer, wine, and cocktails. And it also includes your 18% service charge at the bar. So long story short, at $89, you get everything included. I have put the a la carte prices there if someone really wanted to pull this off and buy things separately. But I can tell you at 3 or 4 standard drinks, you can see the beer, wine, glass, cocktails, and not including the 18% bar gratuity, you easily fall into putting that onto the package. I'll wrap up with our destinations because, and I love the spread that Sean has chosen for you. Again, we're not going into the details, but I'm going to give you the ones that we're looking at. And of course, there are new options just come out actually, but we can talk about those separately. The number one for me is Tahiti. I've had the privilege of going there 7 times. Windstar started there, it's actually 40 years, this slide's old, with our sailing vessel. But the great news is, as of February 24, we replaced it with one of the Star class yachts, which is one of the ones which Sean has on offer for you. Tahiti has a 7, 10, and 14-day itinerary. The key to Tahiti is it's one of these places that everyone wants to go to, but you just don't know how. So doing it on one of our cruises is the way. And I just want to give you a few geographics to tell you why this is such a great destination for cruising. We could be there year round because it's 75 degrees and perfect every day. It sits on the same latitude in the southern hemisphere that Hawaii does in the northern hemisphere. So those that have been to Hawaii will know from LA, you've got a 6-hour flight straight out to Hawaii. To Papeete in Tahiti, it's only 8 hours. So in Australia, we like to say that's 1 more beer and 1 more movie on the plane, and you get to Tahiti. But here's the kicker. As you know, those who've been to Hawaii, the waters are rough and rugged and beautiful. But in Tahiti, because it's on a raised atoll in the middle of the ocean, it's warmer, shallower, and calmer. So that allows us to use the water sports platform so often. And what's under the water in terms of colourful fish and marine life is just absolutely amazing. So that's probably our main program because we commit a ship to there all year round. Then what we're doing now, the Mediterranean, and we actually do have now a summer and a winter season. So the 2 main itineraries for us are what we call the traditional Western, so Barcelona through to Rome and stopping everywhere along that coast, and some even push out around to Portugal there. And then, of course, down in the Greek Isles, so think Santorini, Mykonos, all those fantastic things. But we have just released a winter program because we had some clients say, oh, Mediterranean in the summer is hot and crowded. So we're giving people the option to go there in the winter. So, you know, not really a Christmas market, I wouldn't call it that. But if you want to be away over Christmas time, then this is a lovely option to do. The other one is the Caribbean or Caribbean, depending where I'm from. I can say both because I'm from Australia and the USA. But again, Sean has selected some lovely tours for this one. And this slide does look complicated, but the reason I wanted to show you this is our port intensity. And also there's a lot of unique ports here that the big ships just can't get to. So it is a wonderful program. And there's sailings from 7, 10, 14 days throughout the Caribbean. Iceland and Norway, the cold destinations are very, very suited to our ships because we get into these little villages where the big boys have to sort of stay out in the main bays and maybe do tendering and other touring. We can actually just pull up right in the deck. So there's some unique itineraries there. This is one of my favorites, and I'm so glad Sean chose this one. It's an understated tour. It's up the gorgeous St. Lawrence River during the fall season. So you can imagine the colors, and it goes Montreal to Boston and to some few places and ports that people never ever get to. Back to the warm tropics, or the exotics as I call them, the Canary Islands off the northwest coast of Africa. And of course, Machu Picchu. We're very excited. We've never been down there before. So this is coming to us in January. What I might do, I'll just run this video real quick, well, if I can. And it's like 30 seconds, and then I'll open up for some questions.
The wind and stars have guided seafarers for millennia. And now it's your turn to discover their magic on Windstar's iconic Wind class and luxurious all-suite Star Plus class yachts. Revel in the nautical traditions of the sea as white sails unfurl, pulling you towards hidden lagoons and untouched beaches on our Wind class. Or rejoice in the newly transformed Star Plus class with 277 square foot minimum suites that promise a constellation of comforts and amenities beyond your wildest dreams. No matter which yacht you choose, you'll jump directly off the water sports platform at the back of the ship and can join your captain for navigation lessons on the open bridge. Customize your experience with all-inclusive or cruise-only fares. Come, the wind and stars are waiting. Wherever you want to go, Windstar knows the way.
All right, let me just do a quick stop share there. And I'll come back to you guys. And yeah, we can go in any direction now and ask some questions that I didn't cover, Sean, because I'm hoping that raised some interesting ones. Now, I did want to go further on the synchronized swimming. The reason I really make a point of it, Sean, is
sure. Now you're going to bring it back up again at the end, just to make sure we didn't miss it the first time, right? You all are my witnesses because you're all going to get a subpoena later when I swim.
Well, the reason is they only do it one night, and a lot of people miss it, Sean. And people, like in the morning on departure day, people are, oh, did you see the show there? No, what, where, what? And anyway, and it's just one of my the bugbears. I feel so disappointed. But then I use the tagline, well, you'll have to go on another cruise to see it, right?
That's right. Or you could join me next week as you see Roche, Callie, and Scott. Yeah, I'm just saying. So that being said, a couple things I want to let everybody know. First, Ward, thank you. That was actually, I think, round of applause. If not, how great was that we did not have the same damn slides that we see when people do these things. We actually learned about it, and we learned substance. Isn't that a refreshing change?
Thank you for the feedback.
Really, and what I really like, I love the ships. And they have been voted one. USA Today's rankings. They have one. They actually their ship beat Virgin twice, just for adults only. Just so y'all know, because almost every single person on here that I see is someone who's been on Virgin before. Food is impeccable. The food is amazing. They are known for their food. If you talk to people that have been on Windstar, on any other ship, the first thing they say is, the food was better on Windstar. I'm not kidding. It really, it became kind of a theme. So I really just want to say thank you on delivering that home. But why am I so emphatic and so happy about Windstar? A couple things. One, it's see-through, it's transparent pricing. They don't play. Many of you know how I feel about how some of the cruise lines advertise their sales. Windstar doesn't play that. It is fantastic. It's straightforward. This is the price for your cruise. And then if you want to do an all-inclusive version, including your alcohol, this is what it is. There's no gamesmanship here. And the other thing is that how many people have been to every island that you can think of in the Caribbean? That's part of the problem that you have is a lot of these ships, when we're going on the larger ships, there's only so many places they can go. I do not need to go to Cozumel every single week that I take a Caribbean cruise. So let's go ahead and find something. What I love is Windstar is going to be able to take you places that the others can't. And when they do that, their whole approach is very different. It's much more about a cultural immersion, really learning about an area and experiencing an area, as opposed to going and seeing that you were there. It's not about getting that, punching your ticket saying you were there. You actually are going to get a substantive experience about it. And they drive that point home really in a bunch of those itineraries where they have those Windstar experiences. And if you think about it, when many of you have traveled with me, when we go together, I always try to provide something that would have been different and unique that you wouldn't be able to get on your own. So we always have something that the people on board the ship didn't get. Windstar is doing that in their experiences for us as well as we go through that. So just think about some of those destinations that they're able to do. And we all love that smaller ship. And it's so nice when you have 100, we're talking about no more than 300. The 150 to 300 folks on board, it's fun. You get really good intimate relationships, and it's very easy for me to take over the entire ship. So just to warn you, hey, it's very easy for us to pack the ship with people on these. So if there's something that you really like and you want to make sure you know who's going, just talk to me. That being said, who's got some questions?
Yeah, I don't see any. Have you got the chat? I can't see the chat.
I can, but just feel free to unmute yourself and come on in.
Yeah,
water's fine.
Exactly. Well, and thank you for that endorsement, Sean. You just said a few little things there that that I hadn't thought about. I suppose sometimes we take it for granted.
It's all right. I'm going to charge you for it later. but in the meantime, one of my faves is on here. Hey, Sarah, it's good to see you. We actually never got to see each other.
You in person. Just curious about solo travelers. Even when I travel with friends, I prefer to have my own room. It's hard sometimes. I'm single and I just prefer to be in a room by myself. So what kind of information do you have on that?
Yeah, well, Sean, do you want to go first or do you want me to?
No, go ahead.
Yeah.
I warned you this was coming.
Thank you, Sarah. And I welcome that question. I will give you a corporate answer first. We have a task force that routinely is focused on the solo traveler market because it is a big portion of who we experience on board. And so we do have what we call an inventory control revenue management focus on that. And Sean has got some single pricing for you based around that. Now, can I say it's always the best on the particular tour? No, it does depend on the tour that you sell. And in full disclosure, we have a section on the website called single supplements where we've really raked through and put them on there. Now, they may or may not be on Sean's group one that we've selected. But anyway, something we can work with, Sean. I just wanted to say that because we're doing a group, we can massage that. Now, Sarah, am I under the impression that even though you want your room on your own, you'll still be hanging out with the group, or are you wanting to meet other like-minded people whilst on board?
I'm game for anything. Sometimes I travel by myself, and meet people as I travel. Sometimes I travel with a group of friends and family. Really about the convenience of having my own room and not even sharing with a family member or a friend, because I can do that for 3 or 4 days.
And then it's cabin fever. Yep, no, I get you. And the reason why I ask you, I am probably doing a little bit of market research here, because part of the bit of the feedback that we do have is that we're not like some of these cruise lines where they have like what do they call it, a mingle singles night. We don't do that because what we find, and we believe this is a lovely organic meeting where people come on board and they're like, oh yeah, I don't know anyone, but they invariably do meet someone. And then there might be a group, then that group over the tour, over the sailing builds, started with 2 and then 2, so they met 3 on a shore excursion today. And then by the end of it, there's a group of 10 having a great old party. You know what I mean? But some of the feedback forms I have read have said, oh, why didn't I meet all these people at the start? Why wasn't there a single mingle on day 1 or something? But we've actually made a philosophy, because we are, we like to say we're discerning, our clients are educated and well-to-do, that we didn't want to have that, I'm trying to choose that mingling, forced interaction, because we see it happen organically. So,
yeah. If I was looking for something like that, I would certainly choose a different product. And
gotcha.
But I mean, I'm open for meeting singles, couples, whatever. I just want to have the experience and enjoy getting to know people. I mean, that's what I'm most interested in. I'm not necessarily looking for anything more.
Right. Sarah, that's why I wanted you on this so badly tonight, though, because what I love about Windstar is everything has been put into it. Like, just with 100 to 300 people on board, you run into the same people over and over, right? And the way that they've done it and the way that they've structured everything, I love it, because it really, so you know how you've been on Virgin, you know how they have kind of like that smaller spaces to kind of promote conversation and stuff like that? Same, only they've done it, in my opinion, better. And part of it's so, like, when you go to dinner and you're sitting there, if you were sitting there at dinner by yourself, you're going to end up engaging with the folks next to you, just because it really is a great, it's very conducive to that. And their whole approach with shore things, that we would call them, excursions, activities on board the ship, the night before a port, when they do their port night and say, hey, this is what you can expect in port the next day. It really encourages you to kind of hang out. And what ends up happening is, and I've had folks do this, go to port night with no plan, here are some things, and then they joined a whole bunch of other people on board. Just suddenly they all decided to go try something. And I'll tell you, and not surprisingly, it was my sailor, and they ended up going to eat somewhere at a port just because they heard something was good to eat at this one particular restaurant. I know you're shocked that someone I would refer would end up at a restaurant. I know that shocks you, but I made sure you were seated before I said anything. So, but as we do, but that's exactly the point of it. It's those small intimate spaces. And you need to know that any of the ones that I in particular am talking about, almost every single one I have has a no single supplement.
Nice.
Cool. And I was going to preempt something you said there, Sean. And people often ask me when I'm doing trainings, like for travel advice, say, well, Ward, what's your number 1 tip? And I say it over and over: go to the port talk. Don't miss that. It's so underrated and it's free. And like you just said, you'll get some great information, and there'll be 3 or 4 people in that room that go, hey, let's go and do that. And again, I don't know why people don't do it. So
you just ruined it for us. We used to charge you guys $10 at the door without telling anybody. So now I'm screwed. Okay, he's really screwing me up today. I'm just saying.
I'm adding up.
But the other thing I want to highlight, though, is I don't know if everybody caught it. There's 4 restaurants on board. You have 150 to 300 people. Okay, there's 4 restaurants, and they all kind of have their own themes, and everything is fresh every day. It really. The food, part of that James Beard Foundation background and knowing our sailors the way we do, that makes all the difference. And I am going to tell you that there's a question about some of the more unique itineraries. And I'll be blunt, John, I'll send you a list of some, but they pretty much go everywhere. And what I really like about the way they do it is they kind of, the ships kind of rotate around. And when you say unique, there's one of the islands in the Caribbean that they go to, I think, has inhabitants of about 200. So, or less. So there's very unique ports, and the experiences at all of those ports are also very unique. So, but Ward, what would you say about some of the more unique itineraries?
Yeah, I would say, again, I'd love that you chose that Canadian Southeastern Splendors. It's one of our most underrated. It is the only vessel that actually starts from a US port, Boston to Montreal. And Sean, I can't believe the feedback forms that I read from those people, like, oh my gosh, we only got on this because we were recommended by a travel advisor to do it, and we would never have done it without it. but now we're just sending everyone. And it's because it's in the fall, it's on the St. Lawrence River. And to this point, we get into these little fishing villages where the big guys can't go. And where I'll segue that is in Iceland. There's this place called Jaime Island. And it's basically, you'll see the pictures on our website. The ship goes through and the captain is standing there. And I'm just using a glass as an example. His shoulder's here and the cliff's there. He literally pulls in. And why it's so exciting is you're looking back at all the other big ships that have had to stay out in the bay. And we go through this narrow gutted thing, but we don't stop there. We go another 30 minutes down this thing into the town. And then we just pull up and everything's there. And people say, oh, yeah, I did Iceland, but I've never seen that town that Windstar goes to. You won't, because no one else can get in.
And you didn't take a tender.
Yeah, that's right. We don't tender because
we all know how well Scott does on jumping off a ship into a tender, right?
Is this not your best skill, Scott? I mean,
I have no problems.
But you have other skills, don't you?
I have no problems.
Just the boat that he's jumping into and the people around him might have a little bit of a problem. Kind of like that time he went to go get in that, what was it? What's that called? That lazy river with the tube? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Floaties, yes.
Yeah.
The lifeguard and I couldn't stop laughing. He's like, y'all are supposed to be saving me. And I'm like, you're 6'4" and you're in 3 foot of water. Get up. So the idea.
The other thing,
synchronized swims into shore.
Now you know why you're getting sued next week for it.
I'm done. The other one I wanted to mention, it is Tahiti, our home, because so you've probably all seen those quintessential pictures of Bora Bora with the overwater bungalows. It's that gorgeous thing, and they're just all fingers of hotels out in the water. So what happens is our ship comes into that lagoon. We stay there. We come in at like 6 a.m. We don't leave until 2 days later. So on that overnight, we can actually substitute the night at one of the hotels. Because if you were to do that pre or post, you actually have to go back to Papeete, get another flight or a ferry, But yeah, so that's another unique thing on our itinerary, because a lot of people say, oh, well, I don't want to do a cruise in Tahiti because I've seen those gorgeous overwater bungalows. Well, we can make that happen. And I did come from a company, and I think I heard you mention, I bragged that I've been to Tahiti 7 times, because the company I used to work for was what I called the fly and flop. We would fly in, we'd have to fly out to Moorea, have a couple of nights hotel, then get on another plane, fly out to the next island. You do 4 or 5 islands and you're exhausted, right? You're unpacking and you're losing time. Whereas here, overnight, while you're sleeping, we're going to the next one, and you've only unpacked once, right? So that it really is the perfect destination for this sort of itinerary. And like I said, because we don't stop at any ports, so we can open the water sports platform every day. Because the problem where we can't open a water sports platform, as you'll appreciate, is if we're in a busy port. We don't want people to get run over, and the port authorities don't like us throwing people off the back of the boat. But Tahiti's
Why did I learn that the hard way?
Oh, whoops. Tell me. Where were you?
I'm joking.
Oh, okay.
But one of the things on the itineraries, there was a question, you actually started segueing into it. And what's funny about it is I know that you can't see the chat the way that you're set up, but you started talking about Iceland right as the question came in about Iceland. So, but you have several different itineraries in Iceland.
No, we don't. There is only one now.
But it's done. Oh, they've narrowed it down. Okay.
It's a circumnavigation. It's a full 7 days. So you start in Reykjavik and you do a full lap, which is great because a lot of cruise lines don't do a full lap. Now I will tell a funny question because I know I'm oversharing, but one of the first times that I presented Iceland, someone said, do you go both ways? Because I want to be on the left to see it as you're going around. I thought, oh, that's not a bad point. But then having done the trip, it's irrelevant because we sail in the night. So you're not going to see anything anyway. But anyway, I thought it was a good point. They were so worried about missing something that they wanted me to ensure that they were on the left-hand side doing a left-hand turn. But you don't have to worry about that.
Now I wanted to ask you another quick question for you. So, we're all teetotalers. We don't drink at all here.
I could
so
sense
my question is, if they ask for champagne on board when they get the all-inclusive, are they going to get it?
They're going to get champagne. Yes, they definitely are. Well, sparkling actually, no, you can say champagne in Tahiti, but in other parts of the world, in Australia, you're not allowed to say champagne. It's called sparkling wine. It's a copyright thing. I'll send you the article, Sean. You being a lawyer of mine, you might enjoy the article. But yes, but here's what I will say. So we do have premium brands in there.
Okay.
Now, I don't want to overpromise, but if you were to get me a list of preferred alcohol choices, we can submit that with Jolene, your master group agent, and get that stock on board. Now, every now and then, someone will request a super premium. Like I'm not great on I remember being on a cruise and there was a Woodford bourbon or some very classy bourbon, and they
Woodford
do.
Reserve.
Is that what it is? Yeah. And so
Yes.
what would happen was in the bar, and you might remember it, Sean, in that our lounge bar. There is a little cabinet right up the top, and there will be some premiums there where you do have to pay a little bit extra if you really want those. But most of it's included. I can send you a full list if you need it.
Yeah, that's totally fun. All right. Who else has got some questions for us?
Now we do have on the website many of the cruises that we've got, and we have several of the James Beard ones that we
Well done.
chose.
Yeah, that's great. And we're getting some great feedback with these. As you know, we've always been, James Beard qualified, like all the chefs have followed the protocol. But I think this is only our third year where we've brought a celebrity chef on board. And it's really the chef wanting to get a vacation. And so we'll get them on there and make them work. But what that does is really heighten that experience. If you are foodies, they'll do extra cooking demonstrations. They'll do a lot of, wine pairing as well. So, yeah, I'm glad you've chose those.
And Ward, a couple questions. One, just so everybody knows, excursions are not universally included. Every so often there is one that is, depending on a sailing. However, and again, because that's largely they contract out with but the quality of the excursions, they're making sure the people that you're going with are excellent and are top notch. But they were asking about some types of ideas about some of the sample onshore experiences.
Yeah, so
and it wouldn't be a bad idea if you have that slide handy. If you don't worry about it because I can get it to them later. Where about the Windstar experience for I think it was Ephesus. But to give you guys an idea, when you're going to a place when you're on Windstar, the ports you're going to are typically not going to be. You're going to be able to go to some more unique ports, and as a result of those, you can have some much more culturally immersive experiences. And like on the Tahiti ones, they always use like local. Even the entertainment on board the ship is typically local to those areas.
Exactly. So, are you seeing my screen now?
Yes.
Yeah. So, what I wanted to show you. Oh, not a good date. Hang on. Where are we? Because we're here September. Let me go up down the track a bit. So, I'm just going to use one of these April departures in Tahiti as an example, and normally nighttime they do work on the website, so apologies for the slow turning. You go into this tab here, itinerary and excursions, and what you will see is a massive drop down of those options. So Bora Bora is a great example. Here you go. We've got 13 available tours, and so we do have a lot of divers and snorkelers on board. This is actually one of my favorite, this 4-wheel drive Bora Bora. You click on the view details and it's going to give you all the details here. It's kind of funny. You're in the middle of the ocean, but you get to see all these weird forests and stuff. It's a beautiful little thing. But anyway, my point is there's 13 different activities. And to your point, Sean, everyone's vetted. We only want to use third-party operators who understand the Windstar client. Now, that doesn't exclude you from doing something else. So if in your reading and study, you've come and said, oh, well, I've heard about this, this pearl farm or this vanilla operator, I really want to go and visit. Well, yeah, as long as you leave the ship when we land and you get back in time, go and do it. But our tours are really designed. And the other thing we're trying to do is we've got very good at yielding, how many people do we need and all that sort of thing. This is one of my favorites too. It is quite expensive, but the helicopter flight is unique because particularly with Tahiti, you're flying overnight. You don't get to see this gorgeous array of islands unless you're in the air, and you don't see it via the plane. So that's a lovely option as well. But yeah, so there's plenty on there, and you can see there's 7 on that second day in Bora Bora. And one of my other favorites is
That's not Bora Bora too.
what's that, mate?
No, I was just saying that I endorse your Bora Bora and your Tahiti cruises, and they know that. I was just reminding Scott that we had a couple of them.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. This is one of my fun. See that little picture? I know it's a bit small, but it's that little we call it pontoon out in the middle, and it's one of these pearl farms. And again, there's a couple here we use, and it could be the Anapa Pearl Farm here. I can't remember which one it is off the top of my head, but they do this really cool thing where they literally put a pearl with your name on it back into a shell, and they throw it off. And if you can go down and catch it and find it, you can keep it. Now, a lot of people don't keep it. I don't get it. And it used to be this old cranky guy that would just do it as a bit of fun because he loved to watch tourists, diving in off the water to get this free pearl, but they would sink to the bottom pretty quickly. And I never ever saw anyone get one. So yeah, anyway, they're crazy fun people. These island people just, live a different lifestyle to us, and they don't mind having fun with us, which is often cool. Sorry, did that answer with the itineraries? And that sort of itinerary is typical depending on the destination, but there should be a good array of them. And yeah, like I say, here's another thing I wanted to tell you. I've seen this happen on board. Someone will book that 4-wheel drive tour that I mentioned. So just say Mr. and Smith booked the 4-wheel drive, and then another people had booked, say, the snorkel, shark, stingray. They meet at dinner in the night, and they go, hey, we're going on the 4-wheel drive. Hey, we're going that, but we'd like to go with you now. So they're going to cancel it anyway. So sometimes it's just, and I don't want to risk you missing out, by not pre-booking. But at the same time, what you're feeling today booking may not be what you're feeling on the ship. So, yeah.
And one thing, if you want to talk a little bit more about some of the Windstar excursions and what those are, because they are on some of the select sailings that we picked.
Yeah. So, which popular one would you like to go to? I'm just trying to think.
I would show the one. Well, you had a slide up of Ephesus. That's why I was saying it was right there, so that might be easy to grab.
Yeah,
that will give John a feeling for the types of specials that you have.
Yeah, exactly. Where was that?
And you had most of my people the minute you said food was involved.
Yeah, again, and I think I need to update my picture because there's a few other ones, but again, I don't like to overload the thing. But yeah, this is this gorgeous day when we're at Ephesus at the port, and what we do is, and we give people plenty of warning to say that, hey, keep this night free. When they get on the ship, say this night is already prearranged for you. We've rented it out. Don't go and do anything else on this night. They can certainly do their day activities because this doesn't happen until the evening. But we literally transport everyone up there, and you are greeted with, a champagne welcoming and 5-star silver service waiters and waitresses, and then you're all seated, and you're delighted by this string quartet that's playing away as you're.
So you're not sharing your screen.
Oh, so there I was just rabbiting on, and people are going, "What is he talking about?" Sorry about that.
So that just makes you more human. We like that. They're used to me trying to figure out technology, and that's just ugly.
Well, yeah. So I don't know. Is that picture coming up okay? As I said,
yep. Now we're good. We see it.
Yeah. So you come in over the right here, and that's where you've met, with waiters in their lovely black ties and the ladies in their nice dresses, and it's really just the music's playing, and it's just a casual evening. But like I said, it's everyone on our boat. There's no one else there. We've literally, cordoned it off, and if anything, we've had the worst feedback we've had is that other people in town on that night are like, we don't like that you can only get to this place if you're on Windstar. So they've been a bit grumpy with us, but it certainly is iconic. And then, as I mentioned, the other big one for me is this. And again, I haven't got the other slides, but the Tahiti experience, where it's just because of our history with the country, history with the nation, and we've again, I won't say that we've bought this island. We just have an agreement, and we've set up an infrastructure there because we're known to the locals, and we're doing good things down there. And not to get all philosophical, but we have a coral reef protection program that we give back to down in Tahiti. So they've sort of allowed us to commandeer the island, if you like. And on there you can get a massage on the beach there. You can do all your snorkeling and diving from the beach. And then the kicker, and I haven't got the slide, I could probably bring it up, actually. Have we got some time, or are we going over here?
Well, they'll hang up if they want to. But none of my people are. If they got to go, they got to go. We know we're
that.
okay. It's whatever. But please, if anyone has any questions that he hasn't answered, please hit us with those questions, or feel free to unmic and go ahead and ask.
Yeah, I wanted to show you some of these. Yeah, there's that Bora Bora experience where we can substitute the night in there. That's a horrible picture of a gorgeous beach and where your room is. This is what Tahiti does well. These unique, al fresco dining experiences. I wanted to get to, here we go. Oh, here, and I wanted to show this. I mentioned about Tahiti being in this warm, shallow, calm waters. And I love this picture here where you can see the guy, his foot's on the ground and his head's out of the water. So it's safe. And I always say, if you're not an experienced swimmer or you don't feel confident in the ocean, this is the place where you're going to overcome that fear, because you can just step into the water and put your head under while you're still standing, and you'll see turtles and stingrays and this little one always used to scare people. These black tick sharks, they don't bite. They're not like the ones I grew up with in Australia. You won't survive those. These little guys will just play with you, and it's frightening and exhilarating all at the same time. That.
We'll take one home.
Oh, here it is. And again, here, as you can see, that lady there swimming, if she stood up, she can put her head out of water, and here she is playing with these fun little sharks.
They won't bite me. I was a lawyer, professional courtesy.
They know you. They know you.
They know me.
This is a great one too. It's on the island of Moorea. You basically get this four-wheel drive, and it's a professional photography tour. So if you've got an interest in photography, this guy and gal take you out, and they basically give you lessons, teach you how to get your right light, your right angles, if you're a photographer. So there's some very unique niche type of things to do. There's horse riding on Moorea. There's the island again. Here's what I was trying to show you. This is the island, which we've commandeered, if you like, just for our passengers the whole day. Get a massage there. And this is the fire dancing, where we literally get the locals to, drag you up reluctantly or willingly from your table after you've had your meal, and they'll start throwing those sticks at you. So be ready to catch them.
Bring it on.
We'll need a few drinks to get to that point.
Yeah, no, it happens. It happens. Don't worry.
It was after 8 a.m., so we were covered.
Yeah. This is another unique one too. Again, you might know vanilla is one of the most, common flavor in the world, but it's only cultivated. I can only think of Mexico, Tahiti, and there's one other place, but it's made in very few places. But anyway, the story is here, you go and meet a family that have been doing vanilla production, and they tell you how they, what are the right words? They literally gestate for 9 months, just like a human baby does. And the way they give the attention and care to this thing, it's very fascinating. And you leave there going, oh my God, why do they spend so much time doing this? But, it's a vibrant industry for them, and it's out in the middle of the ocean. It's quite crazy. I mentioned Crazy Jack, who throws his pearls off there. There's the little thing there. There we go. She's saying she caught one, but she didn't. I know. Well, I've never seen him catch one. So there's just some lovely pictures there. The other one would be, I mentioned Iceland, didn't I? So one of the greatest things I remember about Iceland was going into that Jaime Island that I mentioned, where the captain just got through with the ship. And the very next day, we booked ourselves onto it was just called it was literally called the Locals Tour. I thought, I don't know what we're doing here, but you meet this guy and he takes you out, and they do this cliff swinging thing. It's they literally have a rope, and in the old days, there's a bird that I can't remember its name, but they make these ginormous like ostrich eggs, and there was a source of food because, as you imagine, there's not a great food production up in Iceland. It's a harsh environment, but these people would have to swing on ropes and snatch the egg, and this kid actually got up and did it, and he even said, "The boss said I'm not meant to do this because he's literally 30 feet up." Swinging on a rope, puts his hand in the nest, comes back down out, and then repel, whatever the word is. And I remember my wife looking at him going, "Can you do it again?" He goes, "You know what? That didn't feel great. I'm not doing it again today." I'm like, good on you. And then
I think I'd second that.
Yeah. So
guys, I know that we're coming to the end. Is anybody have? I'm just kind of scanning the chat really fast to make sure I want to make sure we answered everything that I see. I don't hope I didn't miss anything. Yes, there are lots of fun water toys on board.
Oh yeah, there sure is. Yeah, everything like you don't have to take your own goggle or snorkel. That'll always be there. You got your stand-up pedal board, your kayak, and those lily pads are the best thing. Just laying out in the ocean on one of those. Yeah. Well, can I tell one last story and then I'll shut up, Sean? I know I'm getting on the thing. So. Time. No, you'll love this one. This speaks to actually. I'm making a big point about the shore excursions. I remember being in the Mediterranean. Mr. and Mrs. Smith had booked this wine tour that they'd heard about. I can't remember where. Anyway, they booked it months ago, and said, "Oh, we're so excited about this." And I remember the day the water sports platform attendant came out and yelled out, "Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, that tour you've been waiting for 6 months. They're here at the boat. They're ready to go. Are you ready?" And they were sitting out on one of those lily pads with a pina colada. And they said, "You know what? We're having too much fun. Just cancel it." You were waiting 6 months.
That's my crew.
Oh, well, there you go. So I'm talking to the converted. There you go.
You see everybody shaking their head. Yeah, that would be us. Yep, that's it.
There you go. So, and I love that. To me, I'll finish with this. That's what travel's about, the spontaneity of the point. So don't overplan. Know that we've got you covered. Whatever you want to do, we'll make it happen. Yeah.
Absolutely. And guys, if anybody has any questions, feel free to follow up with me after. We do have specials. If you're interested in any of the Windstar Cruises we have up on the site or any other, let me know. They do a thing, and I do check it every week. If there's a particular itinerary you're interested in, let me know, because they actually do specials on Thursdays for a week. So I watch very carefully to see what cruises go up there in case anybody's interested. And you do know I keep my list very active to make sure that we actually cover everything. I think we got Ward, I want to say thank you very much. I think this is actually one of the best ones that we've had. It was certainly one of the most informative, and it was actually useful information, the stuff that we want to hear. So it really, really appreciated it as an introduction to, most folks, I'll be honest, in our group, a lot of folks may have heard the name, but they weren't familiar with your product. And this was a great 101 for getting them familiar with the product and really making sure that we all know the types of things that you have. Again, anyone who has any interested in any of them, let me know. If you have any questions, Ward is always willing to make himself available. He really is, to answer things. And I'm more than happy to get in touch with him for any of those. I'm just checking through my notes here. No, I think we've hit every single question that was there. You got anything?
Nope.
You're good.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
And we'll have it up on the site tomorrow for those.
Oh yes, this will get posted tomorrow.
For those who want to watch it again or have questions, more questions.
Absolutely.
Lovely. Well,
over to Callie and Roche.
Oh,
wait, we're going to Callie and Roche. We're checking. They have their mic off, so we're going to check. Any questions?
We're here. No,
we're good.
Iceland. Yep. So
beautiful. Love it.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Wine glass.
Yeah.
Hand the wine glass over. Come on.
That's right. Glass. Yes, this is my glass.
Bring it out.
It's one. This is one drink. I'm having one glass of wine.
That's perfect. You don't have to do the washing up when you do it. That's the Australian way. No washing up when you drink from the bottle. I love it.
That's right. right, stop that recording.